Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is Tuesday, January 21st, uh, Trump administration day two. So as we look at the news flow for today, there is none. Just World Economic Forum day two meetings, and I don't even know what time those are really running to and from. The same with tomorrow, and then we're going to have the monthly VIX roll tomorrow. That's really the big scheduled news of the week, uh, except for the point that after the bell tonight, and don't forget we have Netflix on deck, so that is potentially a volatility event. So you should be flat before the 4 o'clock bell rings for that tonight. And then as we look at Fridays, as we do a little rewind and go back to Friday, right? We were, looking at 515 and 520 on the Qs. We, started living above 520 that session, and then in the overnight session since then, we've basically come up to 525, just slightly under it. Um, the futures uh, or the cash for the ES. Remember, Friday was a monthly options expiration, so we pinned 6K basically on the cash market, and 595. We basically come up to in our trading over 600 on the SPY. We printed 601 in the overnight session. We did some repair single prints. As we look at structure from Friday, there was no real anomalies to speak of. So not a lot going on there. Value areas are fairly small at this point in time coming into today. Um, so let's get into positioning. So for the week until proven until positioning moves, right? And for today, 530 is going to be your positioning resistance, potentially above. That's going to come in just a little over probably 210 points from where we're currently trading. So if you look at the NQ, that would be 21,935, let's call it. I'll update that when I send out the 8 grid where my guesstimate is for that for the day. And as we look to the downside, there's really not as much to hang your head on to the downside. We could just, float around basically anywhere after we hit that resistance. Looking at the SPY, right? The biggest marker on the board for the week and today uh, is basically this 590 strike. That would be 100 handles down. Don't think that we can't do it. It's potential that we could, but that's your support line below, and then looking above, you got 600 to 605, all the way up to 610 for today. And then as we look at the cash market, uh, 59.50 would be your bogey. Futures are up currently 30 points. So that would be around an 80-point drop to get to 59.50, and we're above 6,000 right now by about 20 points. So that would be your first tier support to the downside, would be about 20 handles down lower for the ES. So looking at where we are, right, we come back down. We've been in this daily bull flag for a while. We broke out the top of it on Thursday and Friday of last week for the ES, and then in the overnight session for the NQ. And as we look at untested points of control, there's a quite a few of them between 6100 and 6154. Basically, there's 3 untested points of control that go back uh, basically to the start of this contract uh, when it come into the front month from December 16th all the way through December 26th. So as we look at that bull flag channel, we have broken out. I had mentioned that if we would have had a gap down below Friday's low Tuesday morning when I did my Sunday write up, that would have been very bearish. So that is off the table. We could still get potentially an engulfing candle down. I wouldn't be hanging your head on, chasing shorts until you see something in the structure, just like, we were talking about on Friday. Looking at the overnight action, 76 points so far in the overnight session. And if we look left on our charts, we can see that we are, remember, we've been in this 2 hour Fed dump from when the announcement came out on December 18th, right? Basically from 61.37, let's call it, down to uh, 5,900. Let's just round it off. So we've been basically just retracing that area. We spent a couple days below it with really no fanfare, no follow through, uh, and then just been refilling prices in that same area ever since. Looking at you know, uh, today's profiles and the structure of what we've got compared to Friday. We have, you know, single prints above for the Russell from 2313 up to 2327. That would be your first tier. And that's going to take us back to basically, Friday's areas on the chart. And then for the NQ, uh, you've got the point of control from Friday, I think is going to be, your level of interest to the downside, making sure that if you're bullish, we're staying above that. That's 21,622. So, that would be about 100 points down. We can do 100 points. So, again, yesterday, right, President Trump uh, the news come out that he was not going to impose tariffs, right, on Canada or Mexico, more than likely. And we basically went from 21,538 up to 21,780, right? And then kind of flagged up here in the top. And then last night, uh, he said that he was now thinking about possibly putting on a 25 percent tariff on both Canada and Mexico. And then the futures went down about 340 points from 21,740 down to 21,376. And you can see that, that was completely shaken off at this point in time. I don't know if there was any more, releases about his current thoughts on tariffs or not, or if, uh, traders are just, you know, doing what they do, right? They're just going back up. So we're basically back to the scene of the crime in the overnight session of where that newsprint or that, I guess, headline risk, we'll have to call it. So that I pointed out in equity profiles when I did my write up on Sunday, and I'll reiterate it again today. You have to be bracket only, uh, at least. Not that you always shouldn't trade that way, but you can't not trade with it. I mean, a lot of these drops. This drop last night was within about uh, 30, less than 30 minutes that this whole drop took place. And then as we look at, where we're at, so this is going to go on through at least the end of the first quarter. So you've got another 9 weeks potentially where, any utterance could just troll. So we definitely know that algorithms are watching the word tariff in their program for tariff. So if you want to move the market, you know, uh, make a fake account and tweet out tariff. That is the buzzword for bingo today. So, and then we'll see what happens. So I'm just kidding, obviously. Don't do that. That would be highly illegal. But if you do it, let us know in the room before you do it. Um, so as we, I'm still just kidding. So as we look at where I'm looking at for resistance, potentially 60-90 quarter, and then you've got above that, you've got, right around this 4A from 6107 to 6120. And then to the downside, we could still hit below the previous day's low and, figure out what's going on. But uh, until price action shows you that we're going lower, Again, Friday, you could have, sold, you could have traded a range after the range was established, but you couldn't have guessed what that range was before it was established. Now, my guess would be the same. We could definitely get a trending day potentially. So I would look for, potentially anywhere between 45-minute and 3 hour runs that we could get up or down today. Uh, and then the volatility. So I always say when you get a fast move up or down, that's usually the sucker move, and then you get a slow retracement back up. So that's your reversion to the mean trade. So fast move down overnight, and then the rest of the overnight session was spent just buying it back up. And then, the same with yesterday, fast move up, and then you have reversion to the mean for the most part. So that is the standard operating procedure of fast moves. So unless you get follow through, uh, that's it. So be careful around the 61 eighths and the 78 fades, right? You can watch the 50s, of course, on those fast moves, but for the most part, you're looking at top of the range, bottom of the range. So scene of the crime to the low, right? That's what you're watching, and then obviously from this low, I'm sure Jack will point out there's got to be some good trends in it. So I'm looking forward to hear what Jack has to say. Maybe he'll let the market open up. Maybe he'll jump on and get into this right away. So we'll find out what he has. I'll probably do another morning session tomorrow because we got a lot of new people in the room. So between 8 o'clock and 8:20 tomorrow, I'll get on and do a mini session for questions and answers on my forma TA, and then I'll be on the, different days of the week. We haven't set a schedule yet, but I'll probably do 2 days a month at least on the mic for a little bit more of a duration. But these questions and answers should help with my technical analysis in the morning, and we'll do those as long as we need to do them. You guys take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll see what Jack has next.